The witch is dead. The witch
Ding
is
dong,
dead.
the witch is dead. Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back. My name is Ben Draper, and I will be your host into this terrifying and hilarious world known as D&D. A recap of recent events. After the tower was destroyed...
If you want to recap, just put that picture up I put in the chat.
After the tower was destroyed, 4 orbs spread out everywhere. You guys decided to go to the one that was near the Hawksmoor Mountains, as you were heading that way anyway. On your way, you met a friendly little, friendly dragonborn named Markul, a cleric of Mars, who offered to help you out in whatever was going on. When you arrived at the Hawksmoor Mountains, you found out that dark elves and grey dwarves had been raiding the area, causing violence, kidnapping people, just being general dicks. So you went around and you went to Mazzy's home, found out that Mazzy's sister was missing and potentially taken by some of these people, and you went and investigated. Found Mazzy's sister, found one of Doc's old friends, and planned your next moves. You found out that there was a library in the capital that might tell you a bit more information about this stuff, so you went to the not the capital, the Hawksmoor. Went to Hawksmoor, snuck Doc into Hawksmoor. Went to Hawksmoor, found this library, battled some stuff, found out a bit more about the leader of these drow, Lolth, the queen of the spiders, and a priest of Tiamat. You also found out where they were coming from, so you guys stole your resolve and went down into the Underdark, the caverns of Delzuin. Down in the caverns you faced many a deadly creature, drow, spiders, and all sorts of nasty shit, crones and creepy stuffs. What are people laughing at? Pen of... Why this is off pen of Hadar so I can write. I've always imagined Hadar as being like some creepy like Cthulhu type shit. So I mean, yeah, he can write nice, but it's in like this unpronounceable language of aliens. Anyway, yeah. So you went into the Underdark, fought some crazy shit, fought some old creepy crones and drow and Duragar and all sorts. You met some friends. You made a friend in Hercule Fuddlerock, a Duragar, and his friend Drix. Drixelthar, a Mind Flayer. You also fought against the Mind Flayers, and unfortunately, your friend Markul was killed. A moment of silence for Markul. From here, you went up and used Drixelthar's powers as a Mind Flayer, enhanced by this metal cap, to take down Lolth, as she seemed to be weak from this stuff, from psionic powers. You went through the Duragar Forge, and the Master of the Forge made a deal with you that you would take Hercule out of here and essentially kill Lolth and sound a horn that would bring the Duragar to fight and sort of take reign of the caverns, or at least start a war to take reign. And thus you went and fought. The battle was long, deadly. Lolth was weakened, obviously, by Drix, but even so, she was a formidable foe, utilizing many different combat abilities and spells and things like that. And throughout the battle, she turned from sort of drow deity to half spider, half drow goddess to just pure monstrosity. But eventually, the one guy in the party who was actually afraid of spiders, while his friend Gylndan was down, Doc was nearly dead, and Mazzy was pretty damn hurt, used his concealed blade to cut the leg off of Lolth, and as she fell, stabbed right up into her neck, killing Lolth immediately. Her final words, "I was a god." After which you saw a brief vision of a weird land, a red desert and mountains in the distance. Very strange indeed. Before finally leaving the temple. After you left the temple, you decided to sort of make haste, find somewhere to sleep, and then teleport out of there. But on your way out, you saw an army of what are they called? Illithid, and the Elder Brain, as well as a huge floating, essentially like spaceship, pushed through the air by these sort of large tentacles, almost like a squid, going to the Temple of Lolth, destroying it with this huge lasery gun type thing. Drix, the person who had helped you, made a half threat as he wanted to go back. He was hoping, throughout all this, that he was hoping throughout all this that him helping take down Lolth would earn him a place back in Mind Flayer society, and he made a sort of half threat saying that maybe if the upper world proves useful one day, he'll see you soon. Maybe. You guys took this as a straight up threat and pulled out the old Doc special, handshake, inflict wounds, death. Drix died, you hid out, Gylndan spent a minute casting teleportation circle, and that is where we pick up today's session. As you finally inscribe the runes of teleportation circle, place the final marking in the middle, the world around you spins and blurs, these dark caverns sort of twirling around and around you, the area goes light, very, very bright suddenly, and as things eventually slow down and dim down, the sort of dark, web-covered cavern walls are replaced by the walls of a beautiful architectural place, the College of Wizardry in the capital. The room you're in is very, very fancy, very, very fancy indeed. It's a sort of circular room that juts out a little bit from the rear wall of the college, and ahead of you on this wall are these like really, really tall windows. The room is fairly bright, with a golden sort of reddish hue, as you can see. Almost welcoming you back to the upper worlds is the sunrise. You guess it's about sort of 6 a.m. Looking at it, it is a very, very welcoming sight indeed, as for the past 5 or 6 days you guys have been in a huge cavern. You realize one of these windows is open as you take a deep sort of breath of finally fresh air, not this thick putrid air that is down in the Underdark. It's refreshing, it's welcoming, and it, for a brief moment, brings you peace. This peace, however, is immediately ruined when Hercule begins screaming, "Guys, your sky's on freaking fire! Anyone saying this shit?" Runs up to the window, sort of hands and face, but your world is on fire. We need to go back down. We need to go back down right now. Right? Why are you not freaking out right now? Fire!
This is the sun. It's supposed to do that.
Oh. Huh.
I think first point of order, Hercule, is to buy you a parasol.
The goddamn hell's a parasol.
We'll go buy one.
Alright. Damn, that's pretty. Oh, it's giving me a headache, though.
Yeah, don't stare into it.
Yeah. I got that. Damn. That shit's bright. Jesus, where are we, by the way?
This right here, this is a capital.
Y'all making fun of my accent?
Sorry, Hercule. No, we'd all be in a... I've had my arm pierced all the way through. Doc's still recovering from his dislocated arm as well.
Yeah,
I'm gassed.
I imagine I'm just like sat, like we like all appear and just immediately just sit on the ground.
I think I'm just happy to be able to see again. Without using torch.
That was not your territory, was it?
No.
It's also only been like 2-3 days since Markle died, so it's all gonna sink in now. I think now the adrenaline's gone.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, like, what are you guys sort of like thinking as you sort of reappear in the world, essentially a familiar place?
Did you say the window's open?
Yeah, like a window is sort of like,
Fuck me,
like
that's
sort of
beautiful.
slightly open at the bottom to let in fresh air. But yeah, you can see the sunrise from here. A very, very sort of light blue sky. A few sort of very, very small clouds, but a clear, very, very cold but clear day. As the sky is sort of as the sun is coming up. No one is in here. Not at the moment. But a few moments sort of pass inside before the door sort of swings, or rather creaks open, and a figure walks in. A figure that you recognise, Gylndan, actually. It is a man with a sort of bald sort of top of his head, but still sort of got patches of sort of grey hair sort of around the sides and back of his head. He's got this sort of fur cloak over his sort of shoulders, and he wears a sort of bluish grey robes, very, very fancy robes.
Hello.
You recognise this guy as Professor Orthan.
Hello, Mr. Professor Orthan.
A man, yeah, like I said, you recognise, and you remember him being the biggest kiss ass in the, like, he was famous in the college for being the biggest kiss ass to the council there ever was. Back in the day, you and the other professors used to make fun of him. But he does sort of walk in with this big hefty book. We were not expecting anyone here today. Oh, Professor Gylndan. Hello, what are you all doing here? Where have you come from?
Can we go see, this is business for Archmage Rast. Can we go speak to him, please?
Oh, yes, I believe he's just got to his office. You all smell that too, don't you? It's... Oh God, is that you?
Smell what?
Oh.
I don't know if you took the cue when I said we're to see Archmage Rast, but that's your cue to leave.
How?
It's above your pay grade, buddy.
Leave the college and then suddenly come back like this. All right, yes, I can book you in with Professor Rast. When would you like to see him?
Immediately.
As soon as possible, yeah.
All right, I will pencil you in. For the use of this teleportation circle, could everyone just please sign here in this booklet? And he sort of pulls out a small quill, sort of hands it over for you to sign. This is just for our purposes, to know who is coming in and out of this place, of course. God, wait, is that your... Gylndan, your arm, the bone...
Oh shit, yeah, my arm! Oh,
and he
for God's
falls,
sake!
And he falls and just hits the floor hard, fainting upon seeing your arm, the blood still dripping from this. Yeah, like, you can see bone in this thing.
That's a little bitch.
I swear Doc healed it. Like, obviously not got rid of it, but enough to just stop it profusely bleeding.
I mean, I think we took a long rest and stuff. So
you never said you healed it, but I mean, we can say obviously during that time.
I think I think at one point I did say.
Well, I went down with it, so he did heal me from that.
Oh yeah,
also,
but that's sort of like just stopping the bleeding, sort of thing. Wouldn't fully sort of heal it up.
But while cleric was like on the ground, I was like not interested in that. I was like, can I start tending Gylndan's arm or something? I think I said.
Oh right, okay. Well,
so it's not. I mean, it's not because you wouldn't have used like a high.
It's maybe not.
Spell for it, would you? So it's not fixed.
I was out of spells at that point. So
it's not fixed. It is like there are huge sort of scar marks, and it is sort of slightly indented to the point where you can see like muscle has deteriorated around the area, and it's just flesh right up against bone.
What muscle?
It's a really sort of weird combination of like this was a scar, but due to Doc's healing, it has sort of at the very least layers of skin have gone over to just sort of cover that area, but flesh has still been torn from your arm. Like, that was a pretty fucking ghastly wound, and it still hurts like shit.
And he's fainted, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's fainted.
I had no intention of going to see Rast. That was just to get him to piss off. Can we go to a doctor?
Yeah, of course. You sort of head up and out. The college this early in the morning is very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. There's only like a couple of professors sort of walking around. You know that sort of a few professors have to sort of take the night shift there, you know, watching over the teleportation circle, make sure no one's coming in, watch over some of the classrooms, and lots of professors like to do sort of a lot of work with things like the moon and nighttime and darkness, obviously, at night. But yeah, pretty quiet. You don't really acknowledge anyone this early in the morning. They're all still sort of waking up themselves, so they sort of bid you leave, as it were, and you head out into the capital. And yeah, you can go see a doctor in the capital. Let me just stick you on the old capital map. We haven't used this for a while.
Yeah, anyone, Doc? Any recommendations?
I know a good blacksmith.
If he can give me a robot arm, we'll absolutely get a hammer.
I know a guy down by the docks, but I'm not sure if it's the kind of caliber you're looking for.
It's not very official. Yeah, I'm happy to pay gold.
Yeah. So you would know that there is a general healer, like there was like a college nurse.
General
stuff,
healer?
You know, like level 2 cleric. But there is a actual healer in the Cloud District. There is a small sort of temple of Apollo in the Cloud District. It is small, but there are, because it's the capital, there are so many different temples dotted about in these places, and churches and things like that, that generally the healing is sort of spread around, and it's almost sort of like the serious cases are taken there for the more healers. So you can head there if you want right now. Takes you about sort of 20 minutes, half an hour walking through the city as things are waking up. As you sort of step outside, a very, very cold but very welcoming breeze sort of meets you as you step outside the college. And you're in the Cloud District anyway. It takes you about 20 minutes to sort of walk there. It's pretty barren. Like I said, it's still, by this time it's sort of like 6:30 in the morning. Hercule is looking a bit off outside. Obviously he is a Duragar. They have sunlight sensitivity, so he's sort of looking a bit sort of fatigued and things being outside. But one thing you have noticed is that the band on his wrist has gone. He is no longer beholden to his thing. But also you watched as the sort of band on his wrist gone, and he hasn't even noticed this himself. You've seen his skin go from this sort of pale grey to a very sort of pale sort of bluish colour. Almost like an ocean blue. As it sort of like covered his body. He hasn't even noticed. He doesn't. It's clearly not affected him in any way, except for sort of halfway down the road where he just sort of looks like, "Ah, shit! Well, that's new." Anyway, continues down the road.
Very chill.
He's just walking around. So you guys get this every damn morning.
Yeah.
Your sky sets on fire every morning.
It's not on fire, Hercule.
I think I know fire when I see it. There's smoke and there's fire.
Please stop.
To be honest, he's not wrong. It is pretty much a ball of fire. Just it's billions of miles away, so it just looks like light.
Oh.
Mazzy, it's funny, I don't remember you saying about your past as an astronomer.
I just assume. This is what I think from my farm.
The education level in the army of Ambyr is pretty solid.
I'm surprised it even exists. Yeah, Hercule, please stop looking at it.
It will hurt your eyes.
That's probably a good idea. I'm just seeing spots right now. And he just sort of, as he's walking, just sort of holds onto the back of Doc's sort of coat as he's like now obviously stared at the sun a little bit too long, and he is literally like seeing spots, as well as sort of being a bit fatigued and sort of stumbling about the place. You make it to the temple, where there is a bit of a skeleton crew this early in the morning, although you notice as you're arriving another sort of young priest is arriving as well. They welcome you in. We don't necessarily have to RP this if you don't want to help get through this.
How hurts fix? How much?
So how much is it to fully sort of cure something like that? It would be greater restoration. How much is greater restoration? Yeah.
So can I get that back with the restoration?
No.
Damn.
That is a permanent sort of loss. Unfortunately. JJ, how much is greater restoration to cast?
100 gold.
100 gold. So it's 100 gold to cast and get the use of your arm back.
I can't see him out, man.
Sure, I want to roll up a new character.
Well, if I like Griffin, you might be Gylndan off.
But yeah, they sort you out. It takes a little while to sort of for them to get the components ready and things like that. One of them does have to step out and get the required sort of components, but it's all sort of done with fairly quickly. 100 gold, yes.
Right, so I don't want to get too into the contract law of our group. However, this injury was sustained on a work-based assignment.
You signed nothing. I signed nothing.
Well, no one's surprised you signed nothing, Oramis.
Have you had an injury at work that wasn't your fault?
How much do we have in the party fund?
Not enough. Not enough.
About 500 gold, I think.
We haven't sold everything yet, though, have we?
We've got 500 gold, 510 gold and 3 silver, and 98 loth gold and 16 loth silver. And then everything to sell.
I think it's only right that Lolth's gold pays for this injury.
They might be worth more, though, to a collector of fine gold.
Quite right. Quite right.
Can we pay for this in the party fund? Is that okay? Please.
Sure.
I think we're about to make a lot of gold. So.
Alright.
Potentially. Alright, so...
that sets the precedent then.
Yes, so you do that. You get yourself fixed. Your arm is good as new, though you do notice that any hair on your arm has now, like, been sort of fried away, so your arm is literally just bare.
He never had hair.
Gylndan's like a bar of soap. Smooth all over.
I was pitched in as like a naked mole rat.
Yeah, that's fair. That's really fair.
Oh, the horrifying image.
Underneath all them robes. Just a lot of wrinkles.
I'm fucking 32.
So, what would you all like to do now? As you sort of leave, it's probably around 7 a.m. Most people are up and shops are beginning to open. Things are beginning to sort of happen in Ambyr. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Let's find a jeweler.
You can find a jeweler, yes. Pretty easy to find. There's plenty of them, especially in the Cloud District or the Falcon District. Falcon District being the very high up thing. Cloud being like sort of high up. Wind being sort of workers' district, and Root being sort of like slums.
Well,
as we're
already in
you want to buy arrows.
As we're already in the
I
Cloud
need to buy
District.
magic arrows.
Okay.
Magic arrows. All right, we'll go one at a time. So, Oramis, what are you buying? What are you selling?
I would like to take the Fang of Lolth
Yes.
and get it turned into a necklace.
Get it turned into a necklace, right? With just like a simple sort of chain around the fang.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy enough. Say 5 gold for a sort of simple silver chain to be sort of very finely crafted around your neck. The guy sort of makes sure that it's a very sort of good clasp on the back, so it'll like won't come off easy. And they put a little sort of silver sort of thing on the end of it, just to sort of keep it, keep it stable and in its place. But nice, yeah. Fang of Lolth necklace, very very nice.
Beautiful.
What else are people doing? Who's
Matt,
buying
do you want
what?
me to make you some arrows?
Huh?
Do you want me to make you some arrows?
Could you?
Well, I've picked up some new interesting spells.
Okay.
Ben, what sort of level do you think I could go up to on an arrow?
We made a thing for this. I think
I
it was.
can't remember what we said.
I think it was 5th level.
Okay. So you won't let me give Matt a disintegrate arrow?
I mean, I would, but no, I
cool.
wouldn't. But it also wouldn't be like as thing as disintegrate. Do you have disintegrate?
Yeah.
Oh my! I'm suddenly very scared.
And chain lightning.
Damn.
Oh, see, chain lightning is cool, but disintegrate's just.
The only thing I don't like about disintegrate
Chain lightning
is
arrow.
as written, they don't take damage if they pass the save.
Oh, really?
Because they take because they take so much damage on the.
Oh yeah, no. If it hits, it slaps. But
yeah.
They're either disintegrated or they're not.
It's something like 10d6 plus 40,
yeah.
which is an average of 75
insane.
damage.
What?
And if they die, they turn to dust. They turn
get
to
cremated,
dust. That's terrifying. So yeah, who's doing what? You guys are making some arrows potentially.
I don't know. I can't remember if we had put a cap on it, but I thought you said I could use stuff like this, and obviously the effects would change, but then it would just increase the AC. The ability check I'd have to do.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Whether I actually set a cap on the spell. I won't go into it now, but I'll tell you what. I will allow you to try it, because obviously to make an arrow like that will A, be expensive, and B, obviously the DC will be much higher. So yeah, if you wanted to sort of put,
I mean, Matt, you can buy some if you want, but
I mean, I'm literally out of every single arrow apart from I think bestow curse. So I'm going to town on these magical arrows. But if you want to give me some before I start,
we want to start by selling everything, then we know how much money we've got.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wrote down everything that I think you were going to sell. So correct me if I'm wrong in this. But so you're selling the drow studded leather. Studded leather armor.
Yeah.
Are you selling the Drider's longsword, the adamantine longsword that you picked up?
I think I wants it.
Yeah, that's insane.
Why are you talking about the
adamantine longsword.
On that as well, Luke.
I think if no one wants it, sell the longsword. But we'll sell it to someone like a hammer or something.
Actually, I'll go through it sort of one at a time. So, drow studded leather, 145 gold each.
Okay.
How many did we pick up?
8.
Okay, so we're already over $1,000.
Already over $1,000. Is anyone taking the adamantine longsword, or are you selling that?
I'm happy to sell it.
Cool.
You're the
120 gold.
That, so.
Hang on.
Well, I think I've got my dual sword, which is already dragon glass. I can make it magic.
Studded leather, 145 gold each.
145. Okay. And then the longsword.
Longsword, 120 gold.
120. Yeah.
The adamantine dagger, 105 gold.
Okay.
The mind flayer breastplate, 200 gold.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Adamantine ore, 25 gold pieces each.
How many did you pick up?
10.
1,000.
Were those the things that I was risking my life for?
No.
The smithy.
Enchanting stones. So, for the ones that are in your bag, JJ.
Yeah.
1,000 gold each.
Okay.
Do you want to use them?
Well,
or are they the rubbish ones?
No.
So those are the other ones. Sam, you have 2 of your own. You have one which makes something a +1 weapon, and you have the insane one that gives an extra damage on a crit, and it's a +3, and it deals 1d6 fire damage.
I don't even know what to put that on. That's much better on someone else, I think.
Yeah. Bear in mind, obviously, you know that the more powerful they are, the more expensive they are to attach to a thing.
I think, yeah, but we're raking in money.
Well, that's what
you
I'm
are raking in money.
Probably possibly sell some of these, but then keep some, basically do a like for like, sell it, and then also use another one to put on a thing. So the cost kind of cancels out.
I can tell you now to do the badass one. That is a legendary item. So you will need 50,000 gold to attach that as well.
Fucking hell.
Matt, I was going to give it to you, but there's no point.
I quite think
How much if I sell my soul? Oramis, how much is your soul worth?
Well, my soul quite a lot. Yours.
A 1d10 cantrip, that's how much your soul's worth.
I mean, yeah, your soul's worth a 1d10 cantrip, which is what a heavy crossbow does. So, 50 gold?
You cannot shoot a heavy crossbow 3 times, though.
You can with the crossbow expert feat, I think.
Crossbow expert, you can take a bonus action to reload it and then take another shot.
But does a heavy crossbow make shiny, shiny, boom, boom?
No.
It doesn't need the arrows.
Boom. Anyway, yeah, so
And did you say 50,000 gold?
50,000 gold to bind
your
it to
average
something.
Joe.
No, to bind it to something.
What about our man Oramis?
to actually sell? To actually sell, it's 2,500 gold.
Okay, so the action of binding it to something is 50k.
Yeah.
A bit adjustable, you know. We've got a good relationship with Hammer.
I don't know whether Hammer is the caliber of blacksmith to be able to deal with that level of enchantment.
Yeah, so it's 50k plus you got to find the blacksmith.
Okay, well we're
plus,
on our way to
you would have to
also,
again sort of enchanting.
Where if they don't have like powerful enchanters here in the capital, I don't know where the fuck they would be.
It'd be nice to meet a powerful enchanter one day.
It would. But also the act of binding it to something, you know, this to something would obviously take a little bit more time as well. So for something as legendary as powerful as that, it would take about 2 days to sort of essentially seep the magic in slow enough so that the +1 to hit. So you can bind that to something for 200 gold. And it takes 8 hours to sort of essentially seep the magic into it.
Is there someone in the city that could do that?
Yeah. I mean, that's fairly basic. Hammer himself could do that.
Oh, yeah, we'll take business to Hammer. Can I do that on my staff, please?
I believe your staff is already a +1.
Well, then +2, Ben. I don't want to tell you how maths works, but...
It doesn't... You would have to have a +2 one. Yeah, it doesn't stack, unfortunately.
I'll go check this one in the bin, then.
No, you take it to the charity
give it to
shop.
the guy that doesn't have a magic weapon.
Who's the guy that doesn't have a magic weapon? Oramis.
Mazzy.
I've got a magic weapon.
I don't, but I can create one technically with a spell.
Yeah, you now technically can create one, yeah.
Look at you.
You don't have a plus modifier on your dragon sword?
No.
Shit, dragon sword. No wonder all the red dragon died.
Damn.
Yeah. But you can have that if you want.
I mean, would it be better than a dual sword?
It would just make it +1 to hit.
Yeah, it basically
it
makes it magical so that it bypasses magic resistance.
So what's your plus to hit now on your dual sword map? +8.
I'm just trying to find out.
It is, yeah, +8.
So yeah, make it +9, and then it'd be 1d12 plus strength +1.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's worth it for 200 gold. Yeah,
it's like, that's what Doc's hammer is. Not 1d12. It's 1d8 plus strength +1 because it's magic.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you would like to do that, take 200 gold off whatever fund you're doing it from.
Can that
Hammer
be
will.
Please?
That's a business expense. Yeah.
Hammer will take your weapon.
We work out how much we want to sell, and then do the whole divide that by 5, so everyone's got their own little pot of shit that they can do their own thing from.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that I've missed that you want to sell? Anyone at all?
An arcane focus from a drow priestess.
Oh yes, that will sell for 100 gold pieces. That is very, 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 very shiny. Nice little gem inside.
Okay.
The Lolth gold, pretty much converts to 1 gold per thing. You just get that sort of switched over, easy enough.
I have the Hawksmoor diadem.
You do, yes.
Where'd you get that?
The Hawksmoor diadem inside
when we're in the Hawksmoor
restricted library of Hawksmoor.
Yeah.
I believe I said that would sell for 2,000 gold pieces. However, it is obviously a very well-known item to most jewelers and things like that. It was worn by a lady of Hawksmoor many, many years ago. You could obviously sell it to some seedier people if you'd like. They'd give you a pretty decent price for it.
Do you reckon I could... I may do that this evening.
May do that this evening?
When it's shady and dark.
Alright, yeah.
Can I give Mazzy all of my torches because I don't need them anymore? Have 10 torches, Mazzy. You're welcome.
Cheers.
Yeah.
That's
Now
alright.
How many can I hold?
torches-
Is it?
I think you can hold a max of 10.
Well, I'll have 10. I've got 10 then. Yes.
Cool. And is there anything else anyone would like to sell
Sell.
while we're on the topic of selling or buy? In fact, is there anything anyone would like to buy while we're doing all this stuff?
Well,
My soul.
while we're
Ah.
on the subject of, I'd kind of like to keep the ore instead of selling
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's alright with everyone, because I kind of want to do some, like, combine that with the what's the word, with the book that I got, and send that up north, so that I'm just trying to find it on my sheet, so that they, with the book of adamantine crafting techniques and things, and send that up north to the sanctuary, so they've got a little bit of stuff to work on that with.
Yeah.
Cracking on.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So if people are happy not to sell that, then
That's cool.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything from anyone?
Well, as I
I've
said, I want
got
to buy
a
one.
dagger and a silver dagger. Can I just sell both of them because I've got an adamantine dagger now? So
Yeah, of course. So dagger sells for like, I think it's like 5 copper pieces.
pennies.
And the silver dagger sells for 10 gold.
oh, I've got splint armor to sell as well.
Ooh.
Add that to the
split
pot,
armor.
JJ, if you want.
Well, I was thinking, like, if you're selling your own stuff,
I don't care. Just add it. It's just 10 gold.
okay.
And then I'll keep the copper. There we go. We'll do that.
Splint armor costs 200 gold. It's worn and used. It is. The guy will offer 100 gold for it.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So nicely done. You guys looking a bit more rich now.
Well, depending on what we want to do about how many of these enchanting stones do we want to hold on to?
I want to hold on to that one that costs 50k. Just because I think if we ever are able to put that on, it's a
Okay.
nuts bit of kit.
That's in your thing, so I haven't included.
Yeah, I'm holding on to that.
I haven't included that in what we get back.
The +1 runestone I think we use now for Mazzy.
Well, do
Yep.
we use that one, or do we use a better one?
If you've got a better one, use it, and then we'll sell the one I've got.
Because I've
Better
got
one.
8.
So the better ones, if you remember, Sam basically found a load of ones that were some of the best there.
Yeah.
They are all some of like the fanciest of the fancy, the powerfulest of the powerful.
Yeah.
Not as powerful as Sam's one, but they will cost a considerable amount to put on something. AKA 25,000 gold.
Shit.
Oh, much more affordable.
Okay, so we essentially can't. We're not going to have enough, even by selling them, to use one of them. So unless we hold on to a couple for later, again, like you say, we are swimming in it. It's up to you guys.
I don't think we are likely to be swimming in 75,000 gold, so I think only keep one of the two.
So only.
I'll keep the legendary one because legendary items don't come down that much. And if we ever can put it on, it'll be sweet. And then you can get rid of the rest of them if you want.
Okay.
Or unless.
Yep.
And what's the best one Matt can put on that we can realistically afford?
That would be. The
Well, you
plus
picked
one,
out. Yeah, that'd be the +1 one.
'cause
Okay,
the
right.
How much does that cost, or is that free?
Like 200.
Say again, Matt.
How much would that cost to put on, or is it there's no cost?
Just
200 gold to put on your weapon, and you have to leave it with
Oh, yeah, you
hammer
did say
for 8
that.
hours to.
Yeah,
essentially
I think
thing it
we're
into
going
the
to
raid.
get a room tonight, aren't we? So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is the Westland Tavern that you guys are familiar with at this place.
Okay, so if we
In the
sell
capital,
everything
or other taverns about the place.
and
Yeah.
divide it by 5, so 1/5 goes into the party fund, everyone gets 1,939 gold.
Wait, how much is that? 1,000?
939.
939.
Man,
Very, very nice.
And
That's
that's
ballin'.
So
that's quite satisfying.
Cheers.
Excellent.
no, like, shenanigans with coppers and silvers.
Yep. With everything sold, and presumably everything done, no one wants to buy anything, no one wants to do anything like that.
I would like to do. Let me just sort out inventory.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go sort of. So obviously you got to spend 8 hours for Mazzy's sword anyway. That would take you into the sort of later afternoon, and I'm assuming you'd then stay in the capital overnight and then head out the next morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a new spellbook and write up a backup spellbook because I just have too much cash and I need to put it into something.
Write a backup spellbook. All right, cool. Yep. So that's what Gylndan's doing for the day. Oramis, what are you up to today in the capital?
Could I get, first of all, a certain wizard to give me some spell for my little magic roll?
Oh, absolutely. What do you want? What can it take
What
up?
can I get? What?
It can take up to 4th level.
Oh, I planned this in my head today at work because it was a very exciting day. I was going to give it to you. I was going to say, use this on Halahand when you get the chance. It was going to be a disintegrate.
Pen.
Ben's a dick. Right.
Yep.
I don't have anything. What did you have before? You had an upcast Sacred Flame, didn't you?
It was a
Guiding Bolt.
Guiding
Bolt.
I don't have anything that I would call excellent at 4th level damage wise. But it's all utility really.
You can upcast a lower level spell.
Yeah, I could upcast you a Fireball or a Lightning Bolt or something if you want.
Hit me up with that lightning bolt.
The Lightning Bolt?
Man's going on a ship. I can't be setting stuff on fire.
Lightning bolt sets things on
Lightning
fire.
still cool.
Lightning bolt literally says in the spell description, it sets whatever it comes in touch with on fire.
You blew up an entire orc camp with a lightning bolt.
True. Maybe I should be getting a guiding bolt then.
I think that might be best.
In terms of what we're going to spend the party fund on,
Healies? I'm not sure I actually use my potions.
yeah, I was thinking diamonds, as I have none.
Okay, do you want to get a couple of diamonds then, so that you got a couple of revives in you?
I would like to prepare for this journey, FYI. So I'd like to get a couple of potions to take.
Healing potions, basic one is 25 gold, 2d4 plus 4. If you want to get fancier ones, that's cool. Yeah,
Can I get
the guy
one
could
of
sell
each?
you. Yeah. So wait, one of each, like one small, one medium, one large.
One small, one medium.
One small, one medium. That is 75 gold in total. 2d4 plus 4, and no, 2d4 plus 2, and 4d4 plus 4.
In terms of spells, I've got one at 3rd level that takes 300 GP diamond, and one at 5th level that takes a 500 GP diamond. If people are happy with me using the Python and pick up one of each of those.
What's the 5th level one?
The 5th level one is Raised Dead, which has essentially you get a longer time limit, and it also does, like, if you've got sort of magical diseases and stuff like that when you die, they're removed, whereas Revivify doesn't. Revivify basically...
What did you use on Markul?
I used Revivify because I didn't have a 500 GP. But I don't think Raised Dead would work on him either, because it doesn't remove curses or restore missing body parts, and I think it'll be...
Are we just going to lay him to rest then?
Well, I've got a thing for that, we can have a chat with him.
What, Markul?
Yeah. See what he wants.
Well,
Bloody hell.
you're gonna have a chat with Markul.
Yes.
I'm guessing in some sort of
see what he
ethereal form.
Alright. I'm interested to see that.
If that's what people want to do.
JJ's lost his mind.
Doc talks to himself in the corner.
Yeah, but no, I think it will be something like 7th level Resurrect to bring back Markul.
Okay, so a little way off
Which
our
is only
ability.
1,000 GP, so...
It's within our price range. I think if you get one of each diamond, then that's probably the safest bet.
I will knock off 800 gold from Party Fund for diamonds.
Cool. Cool. So Doc's out spending the day, mostly sort of buying diamonds and things like that. Luke, I have no idea what you sent me right now, but we'll thing that in a second. Hold on, blood. Fury tattoos allow for 10 charges of blood versus stress to deal 4d6 in the project. I will. Yeah, I'll talk to you about that soon, because I think JJ brought up magic tattoos and stuff a little while back, and I said I was going to look into them, and I did, but I misplaced my notes on what I made on them. If I'm happy to, I'll look into it this week, and if you really want one, I'm happy to retcon and say that you got one while in the capital, or you got one.
Okay.
Whatever.
Are we all getting like boys' tattoos?
Matching tattoos.
Guardian
You got matching
tattoos.
rings, now you got
Guardian
matching
tattoos.
tattoos.
Well, I think we need a
We've got
guardian
matching
tattoo,
ones.
and we need one for completing the Underdark. Completed it, mate.
Underdark completed it, mate.
I mean,
So
I'm
you'll
getting
spend your day doing your.
I'm trying to get a revenge wife tattoo.
revenge wife tattoo. Ooh.
Well, that's so cliche.
So you spend your days doing your various bits. Mazzy, we'll go on to you now because I know you've been itching to get some more arrows.
Well, that's fine. I kind of need to know what Gylndan plans to give me as a magical arrows, because then I can go out and buy what I don't have.
So, because this isn't like a mechanic, it's just interesting, and I'd like to keep it interesting. I'm thinking maybe we could work Big B's hand into an arrow, and it'd be some sort of like, I don't know, like grapple or push or something.
Again, this would be a thing that I'd be happy to work on in the week and then retcon and say that you spent your day also doing that. But that does sound really, really cool. I'm sort of imagining, you know how, I don't know if you've ever seen like when Hawkeye has those arrows with the big punching glove on the end of them. Stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of fun. That definitely does sound interesting. I'm happy to talk about that in the week. So we'll put that idea sort of on thing for now, and I'll think about it this week and chat to you guys about it on how you want it to do for the sake of moving the session along. And again, we can just sort of retcon that and say, oh yeah, while you were in the capital, you did that. Or maybe you did it. You need to roll for it, obviously.
Obviously, it's 8 hours.
Yeah.
Can I do 2 spells at the same time? I can't remember we ruled on that, or is it just 1 spell?
It's 1 spell at a time.
Okay. Do you want Ben to work that out with Big B's hand, Matt, or do you just want like a fireball split across 10 arrows? It's up to you.
What's the damage of one fireball, one arrow that's split across 10 arrows?
Well, it depends what Ben would give it, but across like 10 hours, it would probably, I don't know, like a D8 per arrow or D6 per arrow or something.
So it's 8d6 for fireball,
really
split across 10 arrows. I'd say an extra d4 of damage.
Okay,
Because
so
it's 8d6 on
do
10
8
arrows.
arrows and a D6 per arrow then.
Yeah, d6 per arrow.
Is that what you
Fire
want now?
damage.
Do you want to
Well,
Or I'd
so
say
it's adding,
one
so it's
magic
a-
arrow that does a full fireball.
Yeah, so it's a normal arrow attack, a normal arrow damage, then plus 1d6.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it could be useful, but I mean, I feel like
What would you buy?
it's adding to what I've got. So yeah, I mean, might as well. Yeah.
We're not short on money, so if it saves time, you could get the stuff that just does your bog standard damage, and I could try and do like if we discuss with Ben, like a Big B's hand.
Well, I mean,
I'll
I'm
do
still
an
going to go
interesting
out and try and get like 5 seismic arrows and things like that,
That's cool.
which will do the big damage.
You do that then, and then we'll allocate like a time where I made you something, and we'll work it out with Ben.
Yeah,
Okay.
so seismic arrows, I believe I said
Right.
they were 25 gold apiece.
I'm going to calculate this all up. So 25 of those. No, 25 of those. 5 of those at 25
5 of
each.
those, 25 each.
Frost arrows. You need 5 of those.
Frost
as well.
arrows were, I believe, 15 gold apiece.
Okay. 25, 15. Okay, that's nice. 5 ensnaring arrows.
Ensnaring arrows, those are 20 gold per piece.
Okay. And 3 misty arrows.
Misty arrows were, I think they were 20 as well.
Okay.
I'm happy to just say 20 on those.
Okay, so that's 360 out of my fund, but all my arrows are now maxed.
Nice. Matt disappears, goes off to the forest that's just outside the capital on the map. Meets with the Rangers conclaves there. Gets a bunch of arrows. Comes back. He's all ready. While Gylndan's potentially making him some arrows.
I'm going to, because I've just read how long it takes to copy over your spellbook, and it's time we do not have. So I might do that when I'm at the temple.
Fair enough.
Well, how long are we spending here? Because I figured we'd probably spend at least a couple of days.
No, we need to get one. I've got places to be.
Sorry, just go back to you, Ben. General arrows, because I've forgotten, was it something really cheap?
General arrows, yeah, it's oh god, what did I say? I think it's 5 silver pieces to fill up your arrows to full. How many do you need?
9.
I said 2 copper pieces per arrow.
Oh, so. And how many do I have in your bag of holding, JJ? Because we can top that up. That's topped as well, then.
Okay. You could get a shed load in there if you wanted.
So I'd have to, because I'm pretty sure I used all of them from your bag.
Well,
so there's
I've got 20 written down there at the moment because we picked up 20 from the forge.
Oh,
so essentially, take 11 from there, buy 11 to fill that potentially back up.
It's a bag of holding, so I'm assuming there's just a spare quiver in there. If you wanted to stick more than one quiver in there, you could.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
could have endless arrows.
Yeah.
Well, how much would it be for another quiver then?
Quiver, 1 silver piece. Simple,
basic
quiver.
We're talking minimal stuff here. So let's just say I've maxed out my arrows, and I've got another bag of holding worth of 20 arrows with JJ.
Yeah, sounds good. 5 silver pieces. Boom, done. Moving on.
JJ, it's an hour and 10 gold pieces for each level of the copied spell. So for me to do all my spells, I would be there for ages.
You'd be there for a while.
If it took a couple of days here, it's something we could start.
It's fine if I just do it when we go away for a bit.
Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking we're sort of splitting up now anyway, so you and I could spend a couple of days. Doc is in a rough shape. You've still got a broken arm and things like that. There's a couple of things I want to do in terms of...
Did you break it or dislocate it?
No, it's broken.
I thought you'd been a drama queen.
Nope, it was properly broken.
Cool. So...
I would like to arrange for... Well, I'd like to speak to Hammer.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see if there's anyone that can increase the enchantment that's on the wraps on my hammer.
On the wraps?
Yes, I've got...
To... What are you trying to increase the enchantment on them?
To?
Beats per minute.
So when I throw it does damage, and then at the start of my next turn, it comes back to me.
Yeah.
So I think I've got either I can increase the range, get it to come back to me faster, potentially also dealing damage on the return, or add some elemental damage or something like that when it hits.
I'd say you could probably increase the range on it, but obviously the problem is that the wraps only return whatever it's attached to your hand. They don't deal damage in and of themselves. Yeah. So it's sort of like...
Well, yes, I was thinking if I can get the enchantment improved so it comes back to me faster, so there's the potential for it to deal damage on the way back if something's in the way.
There's definitely potential for that. Again, I'll have a think about that, and I will, if you remind me, write a note about it, remind me, I'll think about that this week. But it's probably, something like that would probably be fine. Be a little bit of gold to sort of try and do that, and then a roll to sort of see whether it works, enchanting on top of an already enchanted thing.
And then also arrange either for use some sending spells to communicate with the sanctuary, arrange for someone to just come down and essentially pick up a package, maybe from Hammer, of or actually maybe arrange for them to go to... Actually, I think 2 things. Arrange for one person to come to the capital to pick up the adamantine ore and the book, and then arrange for another one to go to the Shattered Coast to meet with Oramis and Mazzy and drop off some of the stuff that I've got stored up there, so when we meet back up, I can grab some of that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Spend some time, doing multiple sending spells.
Yeah, again,
what are we doing with Hercule?
You wanted to buy a parasol.
Yes, I do want to buy him a parasol.
So that nicely moves us on to the next sort of bit. So as you guys are sort of spending the day, you spend the day doing this, and you come back and you meet in the Westland Tavern that evening. The tavern's patron, a short ginger dwarf, is very, very happy to see you, and it seems that he has taken quite a bit of... let's just say his tavern has become very, very popular because he's put a lot of advertisements up that this is where you guys stayed. The guys who defeated the tower, this is where they stayed when they came to the capital, and this is where they always stay. And the very first time you guys went in there, you sat in a booth. He's got that booth cordoned off with a little red velvet rope now, and a little plaque sort of in the things called the Guardian's booth.
He's going to be thrilled when he finds out we've killed a god.
It is quite packed in there. Another thing to note is Hammer seems to have also taken a bit of thing, get your weapons forged like the Guardians. You see that thing sort of underneath Hammer's shop is just sort of written in very crude writing now, and he has made a bit of money actually, saying that he sold a shield to the dwarf of the Guardians, and he sold this to the Guardians and stuff. So a lot of warriors are sort of he's gained a bit of business from that. So going in, you guys that evening, you can buy your rooms, which is fine. That's 2 gold pieces for your rooms.
We're still having to pay for our rooms.
However, profit off our image.
these are the best rooms in the house. The best rooms he's got. Each of you double bed, open window out to as much as the seaside as you can see. Food is included.
We should be paying with our exposure.
Food is included.
I like Mazzy's line of thinking.
I mean, you can try and... I regret saying this. You can try and persuade him to do this.
Well, before, because I assume Oramis would like to do that.
Absolutely.
I could just cast some guidance on him.
Oh, I need that.
Just to make sure.
So, Oramis, roll a persuasion check as you're sort of generally coming in, looking all fancy.
1d4 on top of it.
It's a shame those effects don't stack, Matt, because I could also cast guidance on him.
Oh, fuck.
Roll a d4.
Roll a d4.
Come on.
33.
33. Yeah.
Effectively a crit.
You start sort of babbling on about this, and as you're sort of talking about this, the crowd seems to be behind you, oh yeah, come on, let them have the rooms, we'll even buy them for them, if and the guy's oh, fine, fuck it, yeah, go ahead. So you get your rooms free. And what's more importantly,
I thank you.
And what's more important,
he's also given Luke the deed to the building.
And what's more important that evening is you guys drink for free as well. People are constantly coming up to you guys saying, hey, can I get you a drink? The demons from the tower wrecked my farm. I want to get you guys a drink. Demons from the tower, attacked me, broke my arm, or killed my whatever, or hassled my livestock, whatever. So, however much you're drinking, make a con save
I've just
for
rolled 3
each
14s
drink.
in a row.
You have rolled 3 14s in a row. That's impressive. First one passed, second one passed, third one passed, fourth one failed.
How many are we actually drinking? How long are we left with?
Wait, no, it's a +2 each time. So the first one passed, second one passed, third one failed, fourth one failed. So Gylndan's pretty drunk.
Yeah.
Fifth one also fails. Yeah, Gylndan's quite drunk right now. Hold on. Let's roll one at a time. So,
okay.
Mazzy, you're fine. You're not fine. So you're fine for most of the evening. Because it's 10 +2 for every drink.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So first 2, 3, you're fine, and then it's starting to now hit you as another guy's coming up and buying you guys shots, and then from that point on, you're just sort of ruined. Oramis, you failed your first one.
Excellent.
How much else are you drinking, or is that it?
As we're drinking,
I'm going for 5.
and we're all a bit bevved, just gonna say to Markle.
Markle.
To Markle.
You notice a bunch of the random people in the tavern just go, to Markle!
Yeah!
And then a lot of people just go, who the fuck's Markle?
He's a legend.
Read his name. He is a legend. He is the Dragonborn legend. Member of
So
the Guard.
Oramis, you failed, you passed, you failed. So Oramis is more drunk than all of you. He's so you guys are like certifiably like tipsy. You're pretty bevved. You're like right. You know, you failed twice. You're sort of like right on that level. And Oramis is sort of just teetering over. Disappears off to the bar a little bit and comes back 20 minutes later with like 3 bottles of stuff. Doc, are you drinking this fine evening, or are you refusing? You would roll all of these at
we might be shoving drinks in your face.
Would make my excuses as early as possible, and just like try and quietly like slip out up to my room, like place like the bag of holding on the bed as carefully as I can, remove Markle's body from it, and cast Speak with Dead.
Alright, you cast Speak with Dead, and it's a very sort of weird sense where you're sort of like, you place your hand on his chest and you can feel life again within him. And you can almost hear the sort of echoey voice of Markle. Oh, you're right, lad. How'd you boys get on in the end then?
That's what he'd say after dying.
Does he know he's dead?
He does.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I get 5 questions. He knows he's dead. He can't like essentially like pick up on new information or learn anything or anything like that. He's under no obligation to tell me the truth. Recognizes me as an enemy, all that sort of stuff. I just sort of just like sit on the floor and say, "Well, we made it out, but there was a cost. You were the cost. Can you forgive us for leading you down there?"
I made a choice. That choice was to join my friends in battle. I do not regret what happened. I especially do not regret getting to send one of those bastards to hell.
That's good. What would you like us to do with your body? We brought you back. We were going to take you to your brothers.
I would like to be buried in the old ways of Mars, if possible. I spent my life on Dust Peak Mountain. I think I'd like to leave it there. But there is one thing you must promise me. My brothers, they don't deserve the life they have down there. You said of a sanctuary, take them there. Please. That's all I ask.
That's kind of answered my other question. How can we help the brothers? But we'll do what we can. We'll see them safe.
Good.
If we found a way, would you like to come back?
I have lived a long life, young Dokrumir, and seen many things. The world, however, it's changing. And dark days are probably coming. You boys don't need me down there with you. And I think my days of fighting are over. Finally, I think I've earned myself a seat at the table of Mars. I would like to be at peace. But I will only ever be at peace knowing that my brothers and those I left behind were safe. Yeah.
We did not deserve Markle.
He was a good egg.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask him?
We've got 2 questions left.
I've got 1 left.
Who is his favourite? don't ask that.
I don't think I've got one, other than just something like... How would you like to be remembered?
A warrior, a cleric, friend, really. Most importantly, I think a good man. Or a man who did his best, at least.
I'll just sort of put a hand on his chest and just say once more, just be at peace, Michael. And just send him on his way.
Dark days are coming. You boys keep safe out there. And his voice drifts off with this sort of strange whisper as you take a hand off his chest. That is it.
You're crying, I'm not crying.
Meantime, we're all drunk downstairs having merry time.
No remembering him though. Just for doing it in
finally
different ways.
Delete
That's true.
Markle's
I
stat
do
block.
not, don't you dare! No!
No, I'm going to keep Markle's stat block. I miss Markle. He was nice. But yes, so yeah, long story short, he would like to be buried in the old ways of Mars. His brothers can explain to you what that is, essentially, or whenever you got there, or you can like read about that, or you can make a religion check to see if you know what that is.
Doc and I are going that way, aren't we? So we'll probably get it off them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. In which case, that is that done. Is there anything else anyone would like to do this evening? Or
while we're in the bar, how what are the effects of being as drunk as Oramis is?
So, you essentially have exhaustion, so disadvantage on ability checks. Your speed is halved as you're stumbling around. Disadvantage on attack rolls. Things like that. There are official rules for it, but well, not official, but like rules that we have been using. I don't have them at the minute. But those are the rules I'm just going to say because you are now like you're over. Yeah, you're over the edge. If only just a little bit, but you are definitely sort of over the edge. Yeah.
Are there any masons or craftsmen in this bar that we're in?
No, not again.
Are there maybe a couple of masons or craftsmen? I don't know.
The worst thing is they all want to be here to respect the Guardians as well, so they will
make
listen
me
to your bullshit.
a general charisma check or rather an investigation check. An investigation check to sort
Are
of
you
ask
sure you
around.
don't want to just let me do a charisma check?
I'll allow you to do a charisma check. Just to sort of like, you're the Guardians asking around sort of thing, using your...
That's a
Does he have to
bit
make a
mediocre.
check to get the words out?
It's definitely a bit of a slur, and you're there for sort of double the amount of time you would be. And this guy is like, so you do find a craftsman, a guy who is in charge of, well, not in charge, but he's one of the many people who is, a bit of a hobbyist statue and sort of works with stone, basically. And his job is to keep the stoneworks of the capital, the many statues that are around, bits of the walls and things like that, in good order, in good nick. And it does. So, do I even need to bother asking what you're going to say to this guy? I mean,
Janelle would be great, right? Very, very great statue in the middle of the capital of all the Guardians.
Oh, well, that's
the work we done for everyone.
Well, I agree. Firstly, I think that'd be awesome.
Bloody fantastic.
But you really need to ask this, because I mean, I think he should know.
Yeah, who's that?
That king guy. I mean, it's the capital is his capital. If he wants to do that without permission, I mean, there's
But you could, couldn't you? I know you could.
Matt, I can imagine you and I are at the bar, and we're really not sober, but we're just here sort of judging this, like, what a bunch of idiots, man.
Well, I mean, I know some guy, and we can make a petition for it. I mean, you guys are the more than that fucking king has, fucking idiot.
I'm just imagining you guys are the drunk level where like, trying to slide down the middle of the escalator is a bad idea. But you're also at that level where you would really, really love to see Oramis try it. And so when he's like, I'm gonna jump over this thing, you're like, yes, Oramis, go for it. We will stand here and watch your amazement.
We will cheer you on, but we will not follow you.
I want to tell you a secret.
What? Oh, secret of the Guardians. What was it?
I only bloody killed a god, didn't I?
Fuck, no way. Oh my god. And he says this like really his bunch of friends are like sort of sat over by their table. You pulled him aside, and he very, very unquietly, literally as loud as I'm doing this now in this bar, so, guys, he killed the god.
No.
And everyone's like, oh my god, like they're all pretty gone as well. So like they're all very, very loudly telling each other to keep it a secret, but it's not a secret at this point.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to keep it a secret. I'm gonna stand on the bar and raise a glass and say to Oramis, the God Killer.
At which point this guy just gets up. Secret. Your night goes on. Oh, what are you gonna do?
Gylndan, you got any paper that you use for your writings? Because he's just said we get a little petition.
It's like that spell you use. Digitation.
Oh boy! Can I minor illusion some paper?
Make me an Arcana check.
With disadvantage.
No. Make me a. So, what are the things of minor illusion? Is what verbal, somatic, material? What are the ones that you need for it?
Minor illusion is just somatic and material.
So make me a sleight of hand check, with disadvantage, to see whether you can actually pull off the gestures you need to. I haven't used my divination rolls for the day, so I'm gonna roll a 17 on that one. you sort of think to yourself a second, okay, and then you do it almost for a second, acting sober. And you minor illusion some paper. It's very, very static paper. Obviously, it's an illusion. It doesn't sort of flow the way you would expect. But yet, like, Oramis is sort of pissed up drunk. He doesn't really know. So you're able to sort of... You're able to somewhat hand it over. It's not a physical thing, obviously. But you are able to... I want
to see him grab for it and go through it.
Yeah. So, Oramis, make a...
Gylndan, you should make it like slightly blurry so he's seeing double.
I'm already seeing that.
Quadruple then,
No, you're pretty drunk.
Oramis, you're so blurry that it looks normal for Oramis.
You reach out for the bit of paper, you grab it, and just...
Stop mucking about. Give it. Come on.
I think you've had quite enough, sir.
Enough killing gods, am I right?
I'm gonna guide him.
At which point, all the other sort of that group you were with are like, yeah, and then the guy's still just like, sacred. You guide him up to bed. The night wanes pretty quickly from that point on. A lot of people were just sort of staying to have a drink, sort of with you guys or near you guys. So night sort of wanes on a little bit. The guy that you were with throws up just as you're about to leave, like all over his table.
The secret guy.
Yeah, the secret guy.
Secret.
Yeah, he's literally like, all right, we got
all everyone was his feet.
This secret. And then someone else over there says, oh, wait, which god did he kill? And then he just goes, shoot all over.
Grim.
All over the floor. The dwarf, as happy as he is, the sort of patron of the bar, as happy as he is to see his business booming and stuff like that, and to see you guys sort of, getting him a lot of business, he's not very happy with the amount everyone has drunk. And really, really wishing he could afford... Well, really wishing that he knew you were coming so he could have hired some kind of security to keep really drunk people out. Because at the minute he's having to have, like, his wife on the bar who's constantly getting flirted with, his daughter rushing around giving people drinks and stuff, also being very, very, like, cheekily flirted with.
Luke's head snapped up. He's looking down, it's like,
and he himself is having to do a little bit of everything. So when people come in, he's having to, like, turn them away if they're too drunk. But because he then has to run off and grab a bunch of plates or something from when someone's knocked over their dinner that they've just been made, they just sort of come back in.
Smuggler.
Yeah. So people are just sort of like, they're coming in anyway. All of this guy's sort of work is basically fruitless. Like, his wife has sort of taken control of the bar, and she's very like, no, I've got everything how I want it, don't do anything. His daughter is very clearly much faster than him, and much better at handling plates and stuff, and he's, a little bit sort of fumbly with things. So really, he's just there bossing everyone about, but everyone's doing their jobs perfectly anyway. And also a little bit basking in the sudden success of his bar, which he's very, very grateful for. You head to bed, you all take a nice long rest, which, even though you're drunk, is fucking awesome.
Beautiful.
Considering the rooms that you have, and the fact that you're, for the first time in, like, nearly a week, sleeping in proper beds, like, actual proper beds, near the sea, in the world, essentially. Hercule himself has gotten fairly drunk, but he is a Duragar. He's a dwarf, so he would have advantage on all of this. And he's been very, very quietly. He's been very, very quietly watching, sort of from the corners, but he does head up a little bit earlier. He says he's, up and out at a decent time tomorrow, alongside you guys. The next day drones on. You all wake up the next morning. Oramis, fairly hungover. Well, actually, Oramis, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. Not hungover at all.
Not hungover at all. Mazzy and Gylndan, you guys also need to make one, but your DC is obviously lower.
Or is it con save?
Yeah. DC 10.
Well,
Mazzy, you're fine.
Watch me fail this. I promise you it's going to happen. That's fine.
You've always got a 12 in the pocket.
You're fine.
That's true.
So, you guys wake up, you've shaken off last night's thing, and you come down, you see the sort of madness that sort of happened. The sort of patron and his wife are still up cleaning, but they look like they're pretty much finishing up now anyway. They have some breakfast sort of ready for you. You sit down, you eat all that. And then what's happening today then? So a new day. It's a little bit later, so it's like say maybe like 9.
Gentlemen, let's go.
I have
a
coast. Potential request. There is a component I need for a spell that is worth that. Well, I need 1,000 gold's worth of ruby dust.
What's the spell?
The spell is Forbiddance. You create a ward against magical travel that protects up to 40,000 square feet of floor to a height of 30 feet above the floor. For the duration, creatures can't teleport into this area or use portals, such as those created by the gate spell, to enter the area. The spell proofs the area against planar travel and therefore prevents creatures from accessing the area by way of the astral plane, ethereal plane, Feywild's Shadowfell, or the plane shift spell. In addition, the spell damages types of creatures that you choose when you cast it. This is the part that I'm interested in. When you choose you can choose one or more of the following: Celestials, Elementals, Fey, Fiends, or Undead. When a chosen creature enters the area for the first time or starts its turn there, it takes 5d10 radiant or necrotic damage when you choose the type when you cast a spell. When you cast a spell, you can designate a password. A creature that speaks the password as it enters the area takes no damage from the spell. The spell's areas can't overlap with the area of another forbidden spell. If you cast Forbiddance every day for 30 days in the same location, the spell lasts until it is dispelled. The material components are consumed on the last casting.
Okay.
So
That's
basically,
about 7.5 miles squared, by the way.
You think that's worth 1,000 gold pieces?
Yeah, because if we had 10 minutes to prepare for any of the other, like if we'd had the time, I could have cast that on the and I knew the level of spell. I could have cast that on the Temple of Lolth, and every 6 seconds she'd have just taken damage.
Does it use the?
It doesn't. That's
it doesn't. You just need to have it.
So once I have it, once I invest 1,000 gold's worth of ruby dust, I just have it and can cast it.
Okay. Yeah, I think. How much have we got in the party fund?
We have 1,600 in the party fund at the moment.
And how much have you got in your personal fund?
I've got about 2 grand in my personal fund.
Okay. Come on, guys, what do you think? Well, I can't think of a better use for the price.
Is it a one-off?
No. So once I have...
So when you've got it forever. You can cast it
that 6th level spell every day.
Yeah, fair.
Unless, of course, I cast it in the same place for 30 days.
I can't see why it would be a bad idea. So I'm happy. I'm happy for you to
What, to get it all from the party fund? I don't know what else we'd use.
How much do we have in the party fund again? No, sorry, you just said
1,600 in the party fund. So I was hoping to get an amount from the party fund to lessen the personal cost.
Could I request 50-50 from your own fund?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will knock that out then.
Yeah. One thing I'm thinking about is stuff about sort of you guys. Obviously, you've got that homestead in Whittlewood Manor.
Shit.
But obviously, if you guys would like, and obviously Oramis has a ship, but if you guys would like anything, like that, a better, more central, or just generally better homestead, hit me up. We can sort stuff like that out. Just trying to think of obviously, things that you can use your money for.
Also, Oramis, I have a spell
to make things
that
useful.
can protect the boat in a similar vein. However, that which would be permanently affixed to the boat, so wherever the boat goes, it would be protected from. It's some types of creatures. I'm just skimming through the spell's description now. However, that needs 1,000 GP worth of stuff, which the spell consumes. So we could talk about that when Doc actually gets back on board the Dragon's Revenge.
Yeah.
But it would stop the boat being attacked by demons and what have you.
Okay.
And stop people. I think it's like stop people being possessed or so nothing could possess us while we're on the boat and so on and so forth.
Is there anything else anyone would like to do while you are in the capital? So, by my understanding, Sam and JD, you guys are going to stay in the capital for a little while, and Oramis and Mazzy, you guys are going to go. Or are you all going at the same time?
I thought we were going to go with them, because we're going a similar direction for a chunk of our journey, aren't we?
Yeah. You would basically be taking the same road up till sort of near the sort of north of the mountains, in which case there's a little road you would split off from.
Yeah, it makes sense to stick together for now, then.
We must leave now.
I'm not going to roleplay this, but I'm just going to... A while ago I left a note with Rast to give to Moraine if I died. I didn't die, so I'm going to take the note back.
Yeah. You go and speak to Rast, and there you actually find Moraine.
Fuck's sake.
She is speaking with Rast. Rast is very, very intrigued to learn more about divination and things like that. Obviously, it's not a very well-known magic, known by only a very select few. And Rast is, it seems, from what little you've gathered about the conversation as you go in, particularly concerned with sort of helping people at the very least understand it more, so that it can be sort of aided in some ways. And Moraine is happy to help, like I said. So if you remember, ages ago back in the tower, she was heading to the capital anyway for work for Mr. Sternglow, the Lord of Lone Hill. Seems she's clearly still here. And you walk into his office and find them talking, and they're both very, very happy to see you. Very, very happy to see you. Rast is particularly sort of concerned about your arm, because he heard from Orphan that your arm was fucked up.
It's still a bit fucked up.
Well. As long as you're alright.
It's a cool scar. It's a memento of a journey I'd rather not remember.
Where did you get it from, if you don't mind my asking?
I'll tell you if you promise to ask no further questions.
Yeah, okay.
The Underdark.
The what?
Interesting.
I can see you'd like to ask me anymore. You haven't heard of it?
I've heard stories, but never really. So I guess it does exist. At which point Moraine sort of looks and goes, guess the visions are wrong. Sits back, chilling in her chair. After sort of briefly looking you up and down. They keep talking. Is there anything else you'd like to say to either of them?
No, I'm gonna get the letter from Rast in a way that she can't see it.
Yeah. How so?
Big piece.
Well, just
huge hand comes, bashes open the desk, grabs the letter.
Well, I'll just say, I'll go in and I'll just say, I'm here to pick up that thing I left with you last time.
Oh, yes. I have it here somewhere. Rifles through his drawers, eventually sort of reaching the bottom one, picks up this small letter, hands it over to you. Rain looks very confused, but you did used to work here, so she's not overly bothered. But yeah, they're both obviously not RPing it too much. The session is getting on, but they're both very, very happy to see you. Moraine says that she is going to be here for a little while longer.
If you need me, Moraine, I intend on heading to Hawksmoor.
Oh, All right. I might decide to swing by there. I'm here for maybe another week or so. So business with the council, you understand. But yes, maybe I could afford to swing by there and say hello. Although if you were interested, Rast, could you give us a moment, please? And Rast sort of stands up. Yes, of course. Steps out of the room.
Tell me she loves me.
She just sort of walks up to you. She just sort of walks up to you. Something's going to happen in this city, Gylndan. And I won't be here to stop it. Whatever powers came out of that tower were, they're not done with you. They're not done with any of you. Any of us. You might have to come back here at some point. I can't give too much away.
Think the capital will fall?
I think that a very old power will decide to come back and take what it lost. And as far as I've seen it, she makes a damn good effort in doing so.
Gee.
I just keep an ear out.
Do you have a timescale on this thing? We're trying to combat what I think you're talking about, but we are not close to being done.
I wasn't able to see a time limit or time scale. There was a banquet. The king, he was there. Or he wasn't there. There were lords and ladies. Some event in the castle. And something dark arises that day. I have no idea what this means, but I think you and your friends may have work here.
Well, don't stick around, I think, based on what you're saying.
I will do what I can. Sadly, you've taught me to not ignore these things. I was happy sitting up there, and your insight into the ways of divination well, I hate to say they've made me a better person, but there we are.
I'm glad to see it's rubbing off on you, Marine.
Well, we'll certainly see about that. I'll do what I can until you return. Pardon?
I'm going to then say goodbye to her.
Say goodbye. She says goodbye as well. Tells you to not look so glum, however. That could be like, she says it could be tomorrow, it could be next year, it could be God knows when. Who knows? But keep on keeping on. She bids you leave. Rast, humbly waiting outside, also sort of bids you goodbye. Again, extends the invitation for you to come and speak. As a professor, again, you're always welcome, he says. Lets you leave.
I'm not a professor anymore.
You're not, of course. But
I'm a co-god killer.
But yes, with that, you head out from the capital. So are all of you leaving now? And Doc said he potentially wanted to stick around for a little bit.
I did want to also just check in with Hammer, because I sent him a couple of crossbows at one point.
Yes, he's had a look over the schematics.
To, work anything out from them to improve.
Yes, so he's worked with the Rangers Conclave that Mazzy went to, and he's managed to essentially work out a way of making essentially sort of it's a different sort of string he realised was used, so that when it sort of twangs, it has a bit more tension, so it doesn't sort of
twang.
Yeah, it sort of doesn't snap as much, making the sort of loud thing, and it's also a very particular. He realized like they really sort of greased down the inside groove of where the arrow would fire, so it doesn't make a sort of loud sort of shriek. No, like as the bolt sort of goes across. Very very well designed. Difficult to sort of mass produce due to the nature of it, but there you go. But he was able to make something similar, a couple similar, which the Rangers have been happy to test and try out and give feedback on. So yeah, he's pretty happy with that.
Basically, I'd like to sort of broach the subject of a partnership kind of with him, where if I find interesting stuff, I'll sort of occasionally send it his way in return for, if he can develop them, a share of the profit when he does so. Yeah,
he's pretty happy about that. Obviously, he knows that you guys have gone far and wide and stuff. You've given him pretty good business, so
yeah, I'll offer him like 250 gold up front now as a sort of investment.
Yeah, you'll happily take that to sort of work on anything that you potentially come across, and anything that you might find sort of useful. Sort of be the sort of blacksmith of the Guardians, per se.
Yeah. Looking to invest, as it were.
Yeah. No, that's fair. He thanks you very, very much for your service again. He's still trying to work on that golden fleece, that sort of golden cloak. Still trying to work out the sort of kinks of that to strengthen it. He thinks he's got it down, but obviously gold is a very easy metal to break.
It's very soft.
It is. It's very annoying. But with that, is there anything else anyone would like to do?
Just want to make sure, because I think we sort of forgot to talk about it just at the end, but I'm making my dual sword magical.
Yes, so you can go off with Doc to Hammer's workshop, wherein he gives you back your dual sword. Your dual sword, as you take it in your hands, it feels much, much lighter. As you sort of swing it through the air, it does feel very, very now well balanced. It's almost got a very, almost like a sharpness to it, which is excellent. And inside, some of the sort of crystalline bits of the glass, you can see almost have this very, very dim, not enough to make an actual light, but sort of as you know, cupping your hands around it, an almost sort of visible sort of glow on some of the sort of edges and sort of cracks and little bits in it. Very, very fancy. He's also redone the strap as well, so given it a proper strap rather than the sort of random wraps that they had before.
It's still got that gem in the middle of it as well.
Still has the gem in the middle of it, yeah. And he's just essentially given it a quick touch up, getting rid of some mucks and scraps and stuff, and it looks as good as new as it possibly could be.
Fancy sword.
Fancy dual sword. Your dual sword is now a +1 weapon. Yes, I will do that for you in a little bit, while everyone else goes on a quick break. A quick 5-minute break, after which we will get going.
Basically, Matt, you've paid 200 gold to make your already regular hitting machine hit slightly more regularly.
Yeah. Just those odd occasions where it doesn't, it now does.
Even more
Mad stuff.
The way you got to look at it, Ben, is I think that I'm charging interest on it. So whatever you're going to give me, I think you should quadruple it.
Also,
this is very true.
If we work on the boat, when it's being sailed and stuff, does that mean Oramis owes us money?
No.
I beg
you are volunteers.
Well, maybe you'll see next week about
your transportation.
Well, who's to say he has a crew and a ship left?
Oh fuck!
Oh yes, please! I really.
Mason,
your crew had to sail all the way around. You guys have seen how dangerous the sea is.
Oh yeah.
Mason is a steady hand at the.
I thought it was Frank who was your favourite.
Mason's risen through the ranks quite rapidly.
I see. Well,
Frank's
still first mate.
Frank's still first mate, but Mason, he's like the first shipman or whatever they're called,
Quartermaster.
Dude's up top, Didier.
He's in the crow's nest, yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Anyway,
let's
get back into it.
Leave. Let's go.
Let's get back into it, folks.
Oh, she's over in Hawksmoor.
Oh, right.
Is she
just Hawksmoor with Mazzy's family?
I think she's living a good life. She's living a good life. Let's leave her there for a bit.
She's living that good life.
We'd probably pick her up, Doc, on the way back from wherever we end up.
Yeah, I'm happy to just sort of say that. Yeah, whenever if you guys just want to pick her up, Doc has sending, so I'm happy to just say that stable hand is able to just bring Chikara to you. Like I've said it before, I'm with things happening in lots of different places, I'm happy for people to just bring Chikara to you and meet people there and stuff. That's
I've actually quite missed Chikara. She's my armor.
Easily done. What? Because she does 3d8? No, 3d12 or 5d12 damage.
I'm just there doing my little pew pews, and she's sort of battering everyone. Right, let's go.
Alright, cool. Are we back in?
Yep.
Awesome. So, you guys wake up, you get some stuff done, you collect, Mazzy, you collect your new sword, and you have a quick word with Hammer. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning sort of thing, when finally you guys hit the open road. Boom! And you're back out, getting shit done. You have all had a lovely rest, and are very sort of well rested. Hercule is still with you, by the way, throughout this. And he is sort of travelling on alongside. As you step out along this sort of main road, it's very, very busy today. Very, very busy. People coming sort of back and forth in and out of the the capital at this hour. Lots of people say hi to you. They greet you. Some guys as you're sort of going past. You see the sort of group of stonemasons that you were drinking with the night before, and they all raise a glass. Raise their sort of water skins or whatever towards you, we'll have to do that again sometime, stuff like that as you're heading past.
Definitely.
As you're going past as well, there is a farmer sort of on the side of the road selling a lot of different stuff. The same farmer who sold you if you remember way back when you first sort of left the capital for Inksworth, a farmer sold you some berries on the road. He's still there. He just gives you guys a sort of like little pack of.
You don't pay for anything now, to be fair. I mean,
pack of berries. Yeah, like people seem to really like you. Obviously, you guys have. I mean, you guys helped stop a war. You've taken down the tower and everything like that. You guys have done quite a lot for this. Quite a lot for this place. You are folk heroes in some aspects. From what you've seen, guards are like happy to see you, but obviously they still have orders to do. You know, you guys aren't technically any better than the common person, like in terms of power. You know, but they're still happy to see you. And
Oramis just hear that he's got called a common person.
You're heading on your way, and a thing to note about travel in Amber is obviously that the roads can often be quite dangerous. So what people tend to do is they tend to sort of form up into these caravans. Essentially, people will just be traveling, and then people will like speed up to travel near others, even if they don't speak or anything for the entire journey. It's just the fact that there is now a group of people is more, you know, that's more wary for a group of bandits, you know, like a big group of people. And this will often generate big sort of caravans or groups of people. And as you guys are heading out, you find one of these groups. The people in there seem to, be going about their everyday business. They're taking many merchants taking sort of goods from one place to another. Many just sort of general travelers going from one place to another. You see lots of families and things like that. And as you're sort of heading there is one particular person within the caravan who recognizes who you guys are and offers you guys a ride, essentially, so you're not having to walk. There's a little bit of a squeeze in the back of his carriage. He's got all sorts of stuff in there, but he does offer you guys, if you want to sit down and essentially just sort of chill out for the travel, there's space in his carriage. Inside the carriage are little, sort of chicken pens and things like that. Does smell a little bit in there, but it's pretty warm compared to the sort of cold air that blows through Ambyr on this very, very crisp day. But you are able to follow this caravan pretty much all the way to Inksworth. Would you go into Inksworth, do you think? Would you go in and spend the night for the first day?
Someone is looking for Oramis in Inksworth, I think.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of sort of villages around Inksworth, plenty of small sort of farmsteads and homesteads and little places like that where you could stay, or you can stay on the road, stay out overnight.
How long did it take us to get to Inksworth?
About a day. Took about
is this caravan going through?
So this caravan is sort of they get to Inksworth, and it's sort of as you get closer to cities, more people are splitting off down different roads and things like that. And then obviously along other main roads, they'll build back up again. It's a constant cycle of people splitting off on roads, but then on other roads, people are sort of joining to just create this sort of ever thinging one. The carriage that you're in is going to Inksworth. That is their final destination.
Okay. I think we push on. It's stay and go, I think.
Stay in Inksworth or somewhere around there, and then head out the next morning.
Yeah. Outskirts, nowhere near the stonemaker's shop. Carry on.
Yeah. Then that's 2 gold pieces for the night for some rooms, food, things like that. 2 gold. Boom.
It's deep.
Next morning, again, you head out. The clouds are sort of covering the sky a little bit today. It's a bit sort of overcast, but you do manage to head out. And now from Inksworth, instead of sort of straight you're pretty much going straight across to the slightly more north of the mountains. It's a bit of a trek to sort of get around the lake of Inksworth before you eventually do sort of make it around here. It's a very, very beautiful day. Not many people on the roads. You have joined this sort of small caravan as you're trudging along. Most people there are pretty quiet, except for a group of... they seem like builders. They're a sort of thick group of dwarves. Builders heading back to Hawksmoor from being at Inksworth. Overhearing their conversation, they were doing a lot of repairs from things like the tower. The tower, by the way, I forgot to mention, is still up. It's still there. Still over the huge thing, and even from here you can still sort of see it off in the distance.
It
hasn't spawned anything, it hasn't done anything. There's still a camp there, apparently, as far as you've heard. There's still a sort of camp of soldiers staying there just in case, but nothing else has come out. As you pass your way, you see a village that is rebuilding from the demons, it seems. As you sort of pass, you can see a lot of sort of woodworkers and things crafting sort of different sort of rivets and things like that for houses. People sort of putting things back up, rebuilding what was lost from the tower. Some of them greet you as they go by. It's a very sort of community lived sort of place, and it's sort of near later on in the day that you head sort of near the mountains, which are almost like this wall of mountains just sort of ahead of you. And before sort of Mazzy and Oramis, you realise, okay, it'd be a lot easier, essentially, if we went around the mountains, not through them. There is literally a straight road up along here, over the river to Dragbont, and then to the Shattered Coast. One long road, easy peasy. There's obviously Gylndan and Dock. You don't know where you're going. You want to pick up your car and you know you want to do this stuff, but from that point on, you're not quite sure. Until, as you're sort of trudging your way along, and the caravan is sort of thinned now to maybe just a couple of people that you're with. Gylndan, you see an owl sort of perched down. You're not, in fact, sure where it's come from. But it sort of flies down and perches itself on top of a rock. And opens its wing down a pathway. No one else, by the way, can see this owl. It's a pretty large owl, sort of like its body is sort of like, that big sort of thing. And its eyes are just these sort of black opals with stars glistening, nebulas, galaxies within its eyes. And as you sort of look at it, you can hear this whispering. As it waves and opens its wing, directing you down a way.
I think this might be our stop, Doc.
Did you hear it? I mean...
Yeah, to you this just looks like a random pathway.
Do you not see the owl?
Pretty small.
He's going mad.
It's this path.
Have you been looking at the sun with Hercule?
Yes. Okay.
I learned not to do that anymore. It's behind them clouds. I learned what clouds are. Water vapor. Who'd have known water could do that, huh?
He's learned a lot in a day.
Doc, I'm not a spiritual man, but I believe I've just had a sign from a god, and I'm going to follow it. You're a man of faith. Have faith in me.
Alright. Well, I suppose we're looking for a place that hasn't been found for a while,
Covered.
So
Yeah.
the main road is probably not our friend anymore.
Well, if people are splitting off, I've been sort of thinking, look, I really appreciate what you guys did for me, and it's taken me a couple of days to figure it out, but, yeah, what Drick said, what he was gonna do, he was using me, probably. He helped me through a tough spot, and that sort of blinded me to what he really was. Once a mind flayer, always a mind flayer, am I right? Yeah. And God, I could never even begin to repay you for what you did for me. I mean, one of these days, someone was gonna find me. I was probably gonna die down in those caverns. You allowed me to have a new life up here. It's pretty great. Bright. Really, really bright, like all the time. But, I like it. I think I'd like to see where I fit into all this. I think the only way I can do that is if I look around, find where I belong, you know? Got kicked out of my first home, I'd quite like to find a new one.
And just a point for you as a DM.
Yeah.
In this world, is a Duragar going to be okay up here, or is he going to get...
He's going to have some very strange looks, but I mean, no more strange than a Minotaur or a Leonin.
But he'd be attacked on sight in Hawksmoor, wouldn't he?
In Hawksmoor, yeah, people would definitely be very cautious around him. He's made a point that he is going to try and stay away from that area, because if there are any more sort of Duragar out there, then they're potentially going to have at him. So he's essentially, like, say you guys are here, and there is a crossroads. One small path goes ahead of you into the mountains, one goes left to Drygbonton, the Shattered Coast, and one goes right, straight down the mountains south. He's going to take the south one, head essentially around the mountains, and figure things out from there.
But towards, like, Dernstadt?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's heard of this cool place, Titan. Wants to see what that's about, or maybe somewhere else. I don't know. Heard some guys saying that there's this place, Card Sea. There's apparently this huge brewery there.
It's a shit hole, I wouldn't go.
I'll start my journey there.
Card Sea.
Well,
honestly, places in the Underdark are nicer.
Well, you guys never went to Thaisvera or anywhere like that. It was actually quite a nice place. But hey, but no, I just I just wanted to say thank you.
I hope you find what you're looking for, Urkel.
Yeah. I hope this isn't the last time we see each other.
Well, I basically owe you boys my life. So, if ever you need me, anytime at all, you just find me. Send me a message. Call me. Something. I'll come. I'll be there. I'll always be there for you folk.
Ben, can I give
you do me good.
Can I give him 50 gold?
Yeah? Yeah, of course.
Just a little something to help you start along.
I was going to say, yeah, do we want to give him a little bit out of party fund or something?
No.
Do those of us with a heart want to give him a little summon?
I'm happy to just give him that 50 if you want to give any more on top. Go for it.
Has he got any weapons?
He has a little sort of dagger, but otherwise he can still create those like blades of sort of psionic energy.
Ah, fair.
50.
So you think he'll be okay?
50 should be alright for him to get started with stuff, but if you want to give him more, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Cool. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'll hopefully we'll be seeing you. Sort of tips his cap, walks off, and is like, leaving's awkward, so I'm just gonna bye. And then he turns invisible, and you can just hear these sort of heavy sort of footsteps trudging away from you.
I mean, that's the real Irish goodbye, just turning invisible and going.
And that, gentlemen, was Hercule Fuddlerock. If you ever want him back, like he says, just, you know him well enough to send him like a sending spell or anything like that. He said he's going to head down to Cardsea. Boom.
And I don't want to... I get why he's going to Cardsea, but for someone that said he's trying to stay away from Hawksmoor, he's not doing a very good job, is he?
No, well, he's starting at Cardsea, because there's a big brewery there, he's heard.
He's clearly going to be travelling the world. He's an adventurer now.
All the breweries of the world.
Yeah.
He also said he'd heard about this cool place, Titan. So
yeah, hopefully he gets there.
Here's hoping.
They do have dinosaurs in Titan.
They do. It's pretty fucking cool.
And dragons.
And dragons. And minotaurs and leonin and basically every race in D&D.
And vampires.
And vampires.
We call it Ben's convenience continent.
Yeah, kind
the
of.
Continent of plot convenience.
The continent of plot convenience. I quite like that. That's the name of the episode, folks. The continent of plot convenience. So, with that, what would you guys like to do? So
we're parting ways here, aren't we, boys?
Say goodbye.
Parting ways.
Can we hug it out?
Grudgingly, but I'm gonna grumble.
I'm gonna ask Mazzy or tell Mazzy that there should be a delivery coming from the sanctuary for me to the Shattered Coast and things. And
If I see anything labelled Doc.
Yeah, if he could look after that for me, please.
Oh, a lot of trust there. I'm gonna say to
I'll look
Oramis,
out for you, sir.
I think I know what you're going to the Shattered Coast to do, and I'd just say that you make sure you've definitely thought about the consequences of what you're going to do before you do it. And if you still have to go through with it, then do. But
it's the only thing I've been thinking of since it happened.
Okay, I don't blame you. It's a horrific thing to go through, but it leaves a mark on a man.
You've been doing remarkably well then with not thinking. I remember being incredible when you can actually think about other
actually
things.
Thinks.
It does
Indeed.
explain a lot of his behaviour though. When not thinking.
Hang on a second. Let me just. I can now do this. 1, 2, 3.
Was it
miss,
only one
hit,
of those
miss.
Lethal. Lethal.
And with that, Gylndan, Doc, we part ways with you two for the time being.
It's the first time we started in like a year. Apart from
I will be in touch with you guys to talk to you about this one shot and when we can do that and what will happen with it. But yeah,
always playing D&D every day.
But yeah, Mazzy, Oramis, you see Gylndan, Doc, the goodies of the group, as it were, wander off.
Yeah.
And you guys set back on the road.
The goodies.
The law-abiding soldier is not the goody.
Okay.
No.
Okay, Mr. Deathly Handshake and boom.
Not even Mr. Boom, just boom.
Boom.
Yeah, just boom.
I like it. It's got a thing to it.
And with that, you guys head down the road.
If that, you guys are out.
You head down the road.
So we decided we have a secret meeting. We decided we kicked you out.
You guys continue down the road,
straight as to when they ask where the others are.
With it just being the two of you, you're able to make up a little bit of a faster pace, and because and
we don't have your little legs to worry about, Doc.
I'm faster than you.
All the shades are coming out now, isn't it?
I'm faster than all of you. You can dash as a bonus action.
I can fire my arrows up to 600 feet and just to appear with my misty arrow at the other side of.
What do you do once you're out of arrows?
Well, I'll be five of those. So I mean, I'm already 3,000 feet away. Like, I'm fine.
You're splattered on the side of a mountain.
You the inevitable theatre allowing narrative. That doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Yeah, it does.
And you head down the road, keeping sort of towards the mountain's edge, as it were. Wandering along, you see sort of various signs of sort of different dwarven clans and villages that are here. You can walk past one where they have a Duragar's head literally on a spike. Pretty rough. As well as a spider, like a giant spider, literally on a spike, just sort of outside.
Oh, that's fine.
And you're heading sort of down this way, and so say you sort of parted ways here, you make it just to the sort of edge of the final mountain before night begins to fall. You figure between the two of you, okay, you're not near any sort of villages or anything right now, so you figure, okay, near the water, this area, you find a decent area to sort of head to bed, sit down, start up a fire, get some rest. Who would like to take first watch, for the evening?
Okay, you're welcome to it.
Yeah. So, Mazzy, roll me a perception check and a d20. No, d12 even.
Mm-hmm. Perception check.
Perception check. Ooh. So Oramis sort of quickly gets a little bit of rest, and your watch is obviously going to be a little bit longer given the fact that it's only two of you. You sit down, sort of sat, again, sort of take an appreciation for the natural world that you're in, back sort of in your homeland, mountains sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sat, chilling out. And then in the distance, you just feel like you can sort of just hear the sort of these heavy sort of footsteps moving somewhere. You think it's coming from your westerly direction. No, sorry, easterly direction, sort of a little bit further.
Between the mountains.
Yeah. This lasts for a little while, like something sort of passing down the way. What would you like to
do? So I assume we are in camp somewhere hidden. We're not visible.
Yeah, no, you would have. I mean, this is your favourite terrain. You would have found somewhere decent to set up camp.
I'd assume.
Just let the kid die, Matt.
There must be. I'll try and find an opening or find a little bit of higher ground, not too far away from camp, obviously, because I don't want to leave Oramis by himself sleeping. But just to try and see if I can
terrain.
further?
Yeah. You don't have dark vision, but the night is clear. Make me another perception check, but with
I can see in the
disadvantage.
moonlight. So what was that?
Another perception check, but with disadvantage. See the moonlight shining down. Oh, okay, 16. So you're sort of there, and you're sort of atop this. You sort of find a small, just sort of like right next to you is basically like a cliffside, and you can see this little ledge to get up there. So you sort of like just like Assassin's Creed, essentially climb up to this ledge, find purchase up the top.
Yeah.
Take a seat for a moment, and obviously dark vision really is prohibiting your movement. But way off in the distance, maybe I don't know, about a mile away, you just see this. It's like a head, sort of walking above the trees, in line with this like slamming noise, this loud thuds.
Which direction is he going in? Is he going to walk? Is he walking straight towards us, basically?
Somewhat in your direction. Somewhat.
Oh shit.
I will stay here for a bit longer and just assess, really. Can I tell if he's alone or if there are other people with him? Is he going to really be a threat? Is he going to be passing us by, but still trying to keep an eye on the camp and trying to keep an eye on where they are? And if they get quite close, then I'm going to come back.
Okay.
Inform my sleeping partner.
Okay. So you spend a little bit of time sort of assessing this thing, and again, it's dark. You can't quite make it out. All you can make out is it is a humanoid figure, sort of this huge figure moving in your direction. Before, takes a little while, and then eventually it just sort of disappears. You haven't made any noise. You've remained pretty quiet, and it seems to veer off for a minute. And as you're sort of trying to see where it veers off to, it goes sort of near or behind a sort of section of large sort of fern trees, and disappears. You were probably right not to alert yourself to it or try and take action against this thing. The evening wears on. You remain up on this perch for a little while, trying to sort of assess the area.
I think if I see it sort of disappearing, I'm going to go back to camp and just really keep my ears alert. But yeah,
head back to camp. You eventually swap shifts. Would you inform Oramis of?
I'll inform them what I've seen. But I'm going to say I don't think they're in any way threatening to us if we leave them alone.
Okay.
Cool. In which case, Oramis, roll me a perception check and a d12 for me.
Okay.
Mazzy's saying he doesn't think they're a threat at all, and then he's going to be woken up to the alarm of 3 eldritch blasts. It's a threat!
And then with just Oramis saying, I swear they attacked me first.
I did not.
Alright. 23 perception and a 10. And this is where we're going to rewind time maybe just a little while.
What?
And go to a couple of guys walking through the north of the Hawksmoor Mountains. One of them clad in, what was it we said, splint armor? Or just very sort of elaborate armor. I don't know what you're wearing. Another one, much smaller, walking next to his friend, almost being sort of guided along the way. The pair are looking for something, or someone, it seems. One of them has a very particular agenda, the other one making his way in the world, essentially. What were you guys doing during the day? What have you guys essentially been up to? Felix and Griffin.
I think we've travelled from Dragbent, Shattered Coast kind of way.
Yeah.
I imagine we're... So Felix is quite intelligent Me, not so much. I'm more charismatic. Felix is saying, like, what do you mean you don't know where these people are? How are you going to find them? And I'm just waiting for a sign, you know, from Tyr. He's going to tell me where they are. It's cool. Don't worry. Just chill out, man. We're not lost, if that's what you're trying to... I swear to God if you say we're lost. Because we're not, right? We're just finding our way. When we're in actuality, we are lost and he doesn't have a clue where we're going, but it's all a disguise. You know?
Yeah, make me a deception check. Yeah, make me a deception check compared to Felix's insight check.
Alright, that's
First rolls as the new characters, lads. Let's go.
Well, my roll in persuasion.
You're rolling deception.
Am I any good at that?
terrible.
It's charisma, so you're probably pretty good at it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Stick
Felix,
Felix
you've
on the
got,
map. I want to have a better
Felix,
look
you've
at it.
you've got decent confidence in this guy. We'll go to explaining the characters in a moment.
Okay.
You got decent confidence in your friend. You've known that he's constantly sort of talked about Tyr and his purpose that he's been given, the mission he's been sent on. I don't know. Would you have spoken much about it, or like what it actually is?
I've hired Felix for this, basically.
Okay, cool.
Not hired, but like we've done stuff before.
Yeah. Okay. So you know of this mission. You know how important it is to sort of get done.
Like like this seems like sort of to me like interesting stuff is sort of afoot, and I'm always searching for like secrets and more knowledge and stuff like that I can get my hands on, that I can use to develop my own knowledge and things like that. So it's with the little bit that Griffin's told me, it's like, oh well, this could be some like interesting stuff that might lead to some sort of undiscovered stuff I can investigate.
Yeah. And you're travelling down the road, it's sort of getting later in the evening, and for whatever reason, you both decide to keep going through the night. You know, they're potentially coming this way, or you just, you're feeling pretty good about the trail you're on.
Lost a load of time trying to help that farmer get his cart back on its wheels. We've got a massive time walking in the dark.
Exactly. Also, Sam,
was it not worth it for these potatoes?
On the bottom, it says, it should say like as, and then it says Gylndan Althor. You can change that to Griffin.
Yeah, I've changed it.
Sweet.
It'll be worth it in about 3 weeks' time when I've turned them into vodka, yes.
So the two of you are sort of
Also,
travelling along.
That, like,
and
this conversation, like, you have to imagine, is like this, as like Griffin is like 6 foot something and Felix is like 3 foot tall.
Oh.
Yes.
So we're quite, it's quite an odd combo, I think.
Yeah.
It is definitely an odd combo. And you notice people sort of on your way being very, very sort of bit strange, gnome, and oh my god. And then suddenly when people realise what race you are, Sam, they're suddenly very like, oh shit, keep it to myself, kind of thing. And you come to a sort of crossroads later on in the evening. It's definitely getting dark now. And you're struggling as to which way to take. Do you go left, potentially sort of a bit more through the mountains, or do you go right and skirt along some of the more main roads? And you don't know what it is. You don't know why. The sort of gust of wind sort of blows in your direction. Right. And that's the way you go through. Winds of fate changing your direction. And it's after a couple of hours of travel where you use several means, I won't disclose what they are, but several means to find your way. And we return back to Oramis, where you can hear quite loudly in this sort of very clunky armour 2 figures approaching through the trees. The crackle of your fire is it's almost sort of disguised one of them, but definitely not the other one. Felix and Griffin, how would you guys sort of... So you've seen this group ahead of you. You've seen there is, at the very least... Well, you think you probably would have seen 2 people sort of there, one on watch, one asleep, just ahead of you. What would you like to do?
I don't know what your alignment was like, JJ. We're not particularly hostile people,
No.
but I've not always been a good person, so I'm not going to get my axe out, but I'm going to sort of just loosen it a little bit.
Yeah.
And just throw out a friendly "Hello there."
and as you turn, Oramis, Mazzy, you do wake up a little bit to this.
Right.
You see two figures, and we'll start off with Felix. What do they see when they see Felix? Introduce yourself. Introduce your new character, JJ.
So Felix is, as Ben said, a gnome. He is about 3 foot tall. Wears pretty sort of like dirty studded leather armor. It's covered in sort of like grease stains and oil stains and stuff like that. He's got a belt with like a large sort of number of sort of pouches and things on. With, like, you can see sort of little like handles of tools and things potentially sticking out. And on his head, he's got like a couple of like not over his eyes, just like pushed up above his brow. He's got a big set of like welder's goggles type things. He's not spry for his, he looks well travelled. He's got sort of dark hair, like, which is going grey at like the temples, and he's got like salt and pepper beard and things like that. So he's getting on a bit in his years.
Yeah.
Gnomes live a reasonably long time, so he's not. He's doing all right. He's about. So he looks like a man in sort of around his 50s.
Yes. And Griffin, would you like to introduce yourself?
I swear to God, if you're not an actual Griffin, I'm
So Griffin is 6'2", so I'm almost twice the height of Felix.
You are. He is like.
Are you 3 foot dead?
3 foot
Okay,
dead.
so I'm twice the height of Felix. I'm a little bit younger than him, but not by much. I'm 83 in Asimar years, which is about 40-ish. He's just quite a stunning guy, and he's got like really silver, almost glowing hair. It's quite long, it's tied up in a bun, and it's got quite a long beard as well, joining the beardy boys. Looks like it's a weird one. I'm in armour, I look like a fighter, but I don't quite feel comfortable in it. You can't quite tell what it is, but I've not been doing this doesn't look like I've been doing it for very long.
The armour looks very shiny, it's not been used yet.
No, but it's not the best quality stuff, but it's more about the way I sort of carry myself, I think.
Right.
But you look at me and you just sort of think someone looks quite sort of quick and athletic. I look like that. I'm not like super strong, I just look nimble. And yeah,
Give me a quick not athletic, nature or religion check, Mazzy and Oramis.
Nature or religion?
Nature or religion?
Both I have 0 in, so. But I know nature.
Both mine are 2, so if you're doing nature, I'll do religion.
Should have been history, but
okay.
Use the same thing.
Takes religion.
History. Also 2.
So Mazzy, so you can both pretty much. It's not an incredibly high DC. So Mazzy, you look at this guy, and he's definitely not a regular race you would see in and around Ambyr. He's obviously very humanoid and things like that, but you're not quite sure.
Oramis,
you almost immediately recognize him as people you've heard about on your travels, called the Asimar. The Asimar being a race of people say are descended from celestials, angels themselves, much like the tieflings are descended from fiends and devils. The Asimar being descended from angels. And the first thing that springs to mind, especially with that 19, is the fact that it is often believed they bring omens, whether they're a good omen or a bad omen. It's neither here nor there, it's not exactly sure. But it is said, people say that they bring an omen. To see an Asimar is to bring some kind of omen upon you.
Hope it's good, boys, eh?
One can only hope.
Okay.
So I've thrown out a tentative hello there. What am I getting in return?
Who goes there? Sorry, no. General Kenobi.
Terrain important and aiding now.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
So am I still asleep, Roy? I mean, am I? I know I'm not because I've rolled, but am I waking up? Am I aware?
I'd say you're like slowly waking up. Like, hello there. Your favorite terrains, you physically can't be surprised. So you are sort of slowly waking up.
Right.
Can I have one hand behind my back?
Yeah.
With a held action of an Eldritch Blast, in case they do anything remotely aggressive. And I'm just going to say... have they introduced themselves?
Nothing.
Or they said hello there?
Yeah. Well, they've said hello there. You don't necessarily... That's all they've said at this point.
Who goes there?
Do they look threatening? Or do they look like...
Oh, I mean, shit, that bloody angel mates just turned up in the night time. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Felix and Griffin, do you look threatening, intimidating in any way? Or
well, I mean, I'm 3 foot tall, so make of that what you will.
Oramis doesn't like
height can usually hide your
my back with like 2 sword handles you'd be able to see like sticking out over my shoulders, and that's probably what you'd see from the front in terms of weapons.
Right.
I don't think so. No, I think
no. I mean, if you're walking towards us, nothing in your hands, not acting as if you're about to go.
Oh,
yeah.
I have slightly loosened my axe, but I haven't got it out.
Okay, I'm just going to rest my hand on where my sword is.
Oh, it's a bunch of handbags, this.
Yeah.
Ben, I rolled perception to see if I noticed Oramis's little hand behind the back. I don't think I would have, so...
yeah, you probably wouldn't have, no. Oramis, roll a quick slide. Either deception or sleight of hand.
Love this to end up in a battle and then like, 2 of us die.
Yeah. No, you don't really notice anything. He's just sort of standing a little bit, sort of just to you. It almost just sort of looks like he's just standing slightly to the side, his hand maybe in his pocket or something. You're not quite sure.
Luke, you said.
I said, who goes there?
I wonder if you could help us. We're looking for a quartet of, a famous quartet. Should be.
We may know of some quartets. Can you describe them in detail?
I believe they're called the Guardians.
Can I whip out my hand, not fire it, but have the Eldritch Blast like crackling in my hands, and just say, "What do you want?"
Okay, right. That axe is coming out then.
So is
Whoa!
Yeah, easy lads.
Yeah, so Oramis immediately flicks around. You can see the sort of greenish sort of sparks in his hand. Immediately after that, axe, obviously already loosened, comes out in your hand, ready. Hand axe released. Mazzy, what are you doing at this point?
I am, because I've heard him say we're looking for the Guardians. He's basically said that. I'm not going to get any weapons out. I'm going to act like I'm
civil,
armed and everything, but I'm aware of any actions I might do. So I'm careful, but I'm not showing to be aggressive.
Okay.
I'll say, why are you searching the Guardians?
Well, do you know them?
I am Oramis Lone Hand of the Dragon's Revenge.
That deception just got blown out the window.
I'm gonna reshoot.
Hang on. I've not done reading my titles.
Hey, I don't wait for you, pretty boy. Yeah.
Godslayer and Guardian.
I'm gonna sheathe my axe and my shield, and I'll just say, sort of look around and go, "Where's the rest of you?"
There are 2 behind you that way somewhere. Just point vaguely behind them. Somewhere over towards the Lone Hill Mountains, probably. fuck knows, to be honest.
you like you
really
just went
sounding
south. like you essentially just point south. Like they've gone over that way somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know.
like you guys don't even fucking know.
If I was them, I would not be believing that you are.
But to be honest, though, let me roll a persuasion.
I love that. I told it. Oh, okay. Now they do.
Or a deception. Do they believe me?
To roll jack shit. Yeah. So what do you make of that, Griffin? What do you and Felix? So what are you guys making of this so far?
My not employer, the one who gave me the task of finding you said there'd be 4.
Our friends are on an important mission. We don't always stay as one pack.
Okay, I'll just sort of, as I'll turn away, and I'll go to talk to Felix, but I'll just say, but loud enough so those two can hear. I'll just say, "Oh, it's a shame it was the 2 most powerful ones that left."
Can I misty step behind him?
This party one.
Just the other side of them.
Doesn't strike me as the important type. It seems more like the one that would claim, try and claim some reflected glory.
Listen, mate, I could dice you up like mincemeat.
Yeah, as you guys turn around, like as you guys are talking, you just suddenly sort of hear this sort of, and you can just hear the crunching of sort of leaves like right behind you now, like right in your face. Yeah. So what's happening?
Can I just whisper,
I might just say that
I hope it doesn't come to fisticuffs because I've only got one more spell.
I might just say, having heard what Sam said, I might just say, I may have picked the short straw when we split.
I'm starting to that.
I'll turn around with
Can I say
Oramis and say, trust me, you don't want it to come to fisticuffs.
Can I say there's plenty of room.
From his belt tight.
Just push away, wouldn't you?
Trust me, laddie, you do not want it to come to fisticuffs.
Why is the meat sheath talking?
While they're all having their handbags, I'm just gonna. Have you got a fire going?
I was actually just about to say.
Okay.
Have a civilized conversation while Oramis says his
friends.
I'm just gonna toss my stuff down and just say, lads, you may want to sit down. There's a lot we have to discuss. And should we end the session there?
I think that's I think that's a pretty good place to end the session there, and we'll pick it up next week.
In the background, Oramis and Felix.
That's going to be a blossoming relationship. Yes.
I can't wait for the end of this.
Possibly.
Felix and Oramis be like this. They're going to be tight as a
Probably.
Oh man. Well, yes. So we'll end the session there. We'll pick it up at some point next week. Thank you all very much for joining me this week. Thank you very much for coming. Hope you all enjoyed. Exciting stuff. New characters joining the party as the 2 others have gone their separate ways for the time being. We'll catch up with them at some other point.
Or
we haven't, unless Ben have discussed it. I don't think we've really planned it much at all.
No, haven't really planned it. Obviously, with things like jobs and whatever going on, I haven't even planned. Like, I know in my head sort of what's going to happen, but I haven't really I haven't got any maps or anything like that together yet because we haven't obviously planned a date for it. But yeah, whenever you guys are ready and happy to do it, I'm obviously I'm ready to go. There's no rush.
I imagine we'll be on this for a good couple of weeks at least.
Yeah.
We'll have a number of weeks of this, so you've got
time
to prepare it in your own leisure, Ben. Don't feel rushed to get it all ready.
Yeah. No, don't worry.
Because obviously, it's work to get one session ready, let alone trying to get 2 ready in a week.
Well, no, exactly. I've actually gone quite ahead with this stuff because I thought you'd get a little bit. Like I said, I didn't expect the stuff at the start of the session to go think so. I've actually got quite ahead with the stuff in the Shattered Coast.
Figure out in the week with all the magic shit that we can mildly retcon that we've.
Yes, so that should be interesting. But no, so yeah, whenever you guys are happy to do that, I'm, like I say, more than happy to get prep stuff going, and we can do that one shot and things like that. So for the minute,
you didn't react to the JJ's. Well, yeah, you didn't react to the thing that happened like we thought you would.
What thing?
What? Oh, the giant. Was that one of you guys?
That was a random encounter that you guys very, very cleverly got through.
Oh,
because I really wouldn't like to put a giant up against two of you. I feel like that would be slightly unfair.
A giant.
I was wondering if it was our friend Rockthrow.
They could take a hill giant, I reckon.
Yeah, they could probably take a hill giant, but that wasn't a hill giant.
Oh.
I mean,
that would have been a fun way to introduce it. So you find two corpses smashed into paste.
Well, it was then gonna be like, okay, you find two people fighting against a giant.
Yeah.
Go, sort of thing. So,
I have persuaded a giant in the past not to fight.
You have.
So
yes. And who knows? Maybe we'll see what happens with him when you guys go north.
Oh.
Who knows?
Anyway, what were we supposed to have seen, Sam?
No, it's just that we threw around a lot of ideas about the way we were going to do this encounter, but Ben didn't do how I thought he was going to, so it doesn't matter. I was there waiting for something that just obviously wasn't going to happen.
Ben's ruined it.
I have ruined it. I'm sorry.
What's going to happen?
There's still the impending fight between Oramis and Felix.
They're going to be fighting like near death. Like me and
I love that.
Yeah, well, we're discussing this and that, and I'm learning about all this stuff. Not really paying attention.
I like the idea that it's just a lot of petty little stuff, and then gradually that bond forms and they become close friends.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Eventually, Felix is the first mate, and he's swinging on the ropes and doing all this stuff.
That's true.
You got the Titanic thing going up, but instead of Rose being in front and Jack behind, it's Oramis physically picking Felix up, and Felix sort of stood in his arms, like up at the top of the front of the Dragon's Revenge.
I've got to do
I don't know. I heard
someday.
She's dead.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry for being an asshole, but you did sneak up on us in the middle of the night. So
hang on. If we wanted to sneak up on you, you wouldn't be alive right now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I doubt it.
I mean,
I'm taking it all back. Fight started.
Mazzy physically can't be surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be surprised.
Yeah, Mazzy would have seen you either way.
Even when I'm sleeping, I'm like, what was that? Wait,
I've seen
fire in this direction. Oh, I hit you.
Yes. So looking forward to.
Can't block the can't block the magic missile on that.
Now next week, I might be away next Thursday. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do Monday. If people want to, yeah.
You're gonna be away on the Thursday.
Yeah. Heading up to Wales.
Very nice.
Gonna scatter Mocule's ashes.
She's gonna rip up the piece of paper with the stat block on and just sort of sprinkle it around.
That's beautiful.
I still have a stat block on Roll20. I can't let it go. I don't want to let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. I sort of forgot when I was planning the session that you had like Markle's body, so I forgot to thing anything for that. But there we go. But yes, so D&D
very well considering.
Wednesday. Thank you. So D&D Monday then, and we'll get more into sort of
my
what
only
happens
other
with these characters.
night week is Fridays. Do we want to try games Friday, or is that everybody else have stuff they're doing?
Again, I'll be in Wales, so I won't be able to join games.
Yeah, next Friday, not tomorrow.
I tried a little bit of Dirt, which does seem like it's got some arcade modes, which, you know, we could just like play for like an hour or something like that, and then switch, or half an hour, and then switch to something else.
Awesome. I had to download that actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me about, I'd say, 4 hours to do it. So
yeah, I'll pop it on over the weekend.
We'll get
it. Yeah. Sounds good.
Right, see you chappers on Monday.
Yeah, see you chaps on Monday. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Ta-da.